just... Yeah. I quite like the castles. Yeah, I used to. Yeah. I should hope so, yeah. Because there's a big bag just there spoiling it. A friend who works at Castle, so she's got well, she wants to get me a few bits and pieces. Yeah, I've won the golf G. I got told off. Yeah. I was going to check that. I could see it. I want to see what it comes out of. Sit down to react.
I don't need to play football all the time, that's why I feel like I'm hovering.
Camera car.
I'm on the opposite flank for the first time this today, so I'll find the books and I can't find the rest in the normal position.
Maybe if you got here a bit earlier, like all the professional things. We talked about that. But the word didn't actually come out. I knew you'd lip read it. I knew you'd reject it. Yeah, I thought I'd just go there. And put chocolate. Very dry. Just bit of the brain.
Yeah, so I always forget it's 87.
From Pong and Bradley will be back. Yeah. What's his injection? This way. I think you're supposed to have to an injection if you're still feeling pain. You need to something to put in there.
No, I often just put it down. And yes, rugby
dinner. Rugby lunch. Dinner. I don't know what's on the menu. Up from Dale Street, gets it off Moorfields. Oh, sure. The Echo building, so you head down Old Hall Street that way. Go past Moorfield Station, get into Tyrone Street, yeah.
Good afternoon.
Arne, I know obviously last night you said that you hadn't spoken to Richard Hughes or any of the ownership group last night, but have you been able to since, and if so, what have those conversations been like? Has the support that you spoke about last night been reiterated to you?
Yeah, we've had the same conversations as we've had since I'm here. And as I'm not sure if I said it last night, but we fight on and we try to improve. That's what we all try. But the conversations have been the same as they've been for the past 1.5 years.
For you at the moment, is there an anger, or maybe that's too strong? Is there a frustration or a feeling of being let down by your players at the moment who aren't necessarily reaching the standards that we've come to expect from them?
No, not at all. Although I do agree with you that our standards, and with our I mean the team, have not been of the standards that we are used to and that we want. So we think we can play better than we do. But last season, when we did really well, there was a lot of focus on certain individuals, and I always said it should be about the team, and the team makes the individuals look very good. And if the opposite is happening, we should also look at the team and not at the individuals. So that's where it's about for me.
But you also said that you have to look at yourself. What can you do different, if anything?
That's not so easy to say what can I do, but it's quite normal if you win or lose or draw that you reflect on a game. Which decisions have you made? What have you done during the week? All kind of usual things managers do if they win or lose. But maybe you do it a little bit more if you lose. You try to find the answer to what is needed to win a game of football. And in the end, it's about doing what this club is about, is keep fighting, and no matter how difficult it is, we have to fight together. But it would also be nice if we would reward ourselves in the moments we play well, because people are very focused and correctly about the parts we don't play well, but there are definitely large parts of the games where we do play well and where we do create a lot of chances, and we tend to forget to reward ourselves in those moments, and every small mistake or small error immediately leads to us conceding a goal, and that is a very bad cocktail to have.
It kind of follows on to my final question, is how pressurised a situation is this then for you as a group, for you personally, and how inhibiting can that pressure be?
No, there's a lot of pressure if you work or play at a top club, and even more so if you start losing more games than this club or this players or this manager is used to. So then there's always pressure. But there was a lot of pressure last season as well for us to win the league. And now it's a different kind of pressure because we've lost so many games. But what it does to me, I can just do the same, but I don't have to play. So maybe my job is a little bit easier if it comes to this. Because I think it's hard for every player. If you are in a bad run of results, if you go down immediately after 3 minutes, and then you play a good first half, and then 10 minutes after halftime, again you concede. So we get knock after knock after knock, which is hard, but that's why I keep saying that, especially when that happens, we have to keep fighting, and that's what we've done so well last season, and what this club is about for so many years, and that's what we expect. The minimum what I and we expect is that we do this over 90 minutes, which is not always easy if you get knock after knock after knock.
Thanks, Arne. Good luck.
Can I just ask you about the fitness of some of your players, please?
Yeah.
Hugo, obviously, with his problem that he picked up, and how Florian and Alisson are as well.
Ali trained again with the team today, so we hope and expect him to be available in the weekend. Florian will have his final day of rehab tomorrow, so if that all goes well, he could train with the team on Saturday. And the third one was Hugo. Yeah, of course today was recovery, but they don't expect that it has to be a big issue. But yeah, games come fast, so let's see for the weekend. But it shouldn't have to be a big issue.
As far as West Ham are concerned as well, it feels like probably the wrong time for you that they're moving in a different direction now under Nuno Espirito Santo. They seem to have got a new wind and a fresh confidence of their own, I suppose. How do you feel they've been doing?
Yeah, like you said, he's having an impact on their results. He's done so well everywhere he worked here in England, and didn't so well at Forest. Now he's doing well at West Ham again. So he's proven to be a difficult manager to play against, not only for me but for everyone, because he always has a very good game plan, and it's a tough team to beat at the moment, West Ham, which was different maybe than the beginning of the season, but we face them now, and that's why we definitely need to be ready for a challenge, because that's what they will give us, because they know, of course, after our recent run of results, that that's probably different for them to play against us now than it was 3 or 4 months ago.
Looking at the XG stats for the last 3 games, Liverpool's is 6.59 and your opponent's 5.39 combined. I just wonder what would you take from that?
Frustration. XG don't always tell you the right story, because I think it's also important when do you get those chances. So and after you concede, you tend to be more open than when you're 1 or 2-0 up. I think when we were 1-0 up against Real Madrid and 2-0 against Villa, we hardly conceded a chance, and that has happened in many more of our games when we were leading. But yeah, when you chase the game, you concede normally more. But I think a large part of this XG that we create is in the first part of the game as well. And that's why one of the players said today, and I just used that quote, we don't reward ourselves for good phases of the game or good parts of the game. And this is probably what is best shown in our XG created, because it's ridiculous, because normally you score more than you XG. The amount of times you see a team scoring 3 or 4 goals from from a low XG value, and then if you see our XG yesterday evening, but yeah, I didn't need XG to know that we missed a lot of chances.
And Curtis Jones gave quite a passionate interview after the game last night. I just wondered what you thought of what he said, and that kind of passion, that anger, that frustration. How does it feel when you hear your players speaking like that?
Then you assume that I heard what he said, and that is what I didn't. So after the game, I have to do 120 interviews.
He said that he was past being angry and spoke about wanting to be a dog and tackle out there, do some of those kind of things as well.
Really good if you bring it to the game, and I think this is what the players at least tried to do yesterday. All the data in terms of running data were very high. They had a lot of personal bests, so they tried yesterday a lot, but it didn't lead to anything in terms of result. And I think this is what he is saying. If we can bring this as a team to the game, this is where is the minimum I expect, and the minimum defense expect from us, that we fight. And this is, I use the word fight, he uses probably some other words, but I think we're on the same page when it comes to how we want to get out of this situation.
Carl at the back.
Just wondering how you go about restoring damaged confidence, because I assume that's something else. You can't train that into them, but is there anything you can do to try and help them, because it's obviously morale is so low on the pitch at times?
That last thing I think should be said extra at times, because I don't see it being low when we start the game. I didn't even saw it low after we conceded the 1-0 yesterday. But after the third, the fourth or the fifth knock, then after the 3-1, I also saw a very difficult 5 to 10 minutes. But before that, even when we conceded the 2-1, again had a disappointment. We were able to generate enough chances, enough XG to make the 2-2. But after they scored the 3-1, I could indeed see that it hurt the players, and that wasn't the period where our fighting spirit was the best in the game, to say it mildly.
When they're in that mindset, are you confident your message is still getting across to them?
After the 3-1, it's very difficult to get a message across to them when I'm at the sideline. But before the game and during half-time, I think the message comes across to them. If I see how we create our chances, it is a lot of the things we train and what is in the meeting. But unfortunately, it doesn't lead to goals, and that is difficult for them, for me, for our fans, for everyone. But that the message comes across is very clear to me if I see the way we generate our chances. That is a lot from the work we do on the training pitch and during the meetings. So yeah, that's for me, that's obvious. But yeah, when we're 3-1 down, then it's difficult to get the message across if you're standing not so far, but if you're not standing on the pitch.
Can I just ask about Joe Gomez? I know you obviously said the other day he had an injection last week, but how close is he to being able to play sort of meaningful minutes for you?
Oh, close. He could have been involved yesterday as well in terms of minutes. But yeah, when we are 2-1 down or 3-1 down, I tend to make offensive substitutions. And for him to start a game is also definitely a possibility. But Konate didn't train 2 days before the game. He was a bit of a liability 2 days before. And then if you don't have that many defenders to start with, 2 players that maybe might not be able to play the whole 90, that's kind of a risk as well. So I decided to keep him. How do you say this? But you know probably what I mean. To keep him there for if Ibu was injured, and not to have to make 2 substitutions, because then probably would have ended up with 1 or 2 defenders.
How did you sleep last night?
What do you think?
Not so well.
No, not the best. Not completely poor. It wasn't as if I lie awake for the whole night, but although if we win, I don't sleep well. Also. So then there's probably a lot of adrenaline, and now there's a lot of thoughts going through your mind. But I had a few hours of sleep, enough to be able to be fresh again this morning.
Yeah. Peter Bos yesterday said after the game that he would have a drink with you. Did you have that drink? What did you talk about?
No, unfortunately, I asked him to come in, but I had quite a lot of media work to do. And afterwards, when I came in, it was already a bit too late. So I will text him today to one more time congratulate him. So we didn't have time to have a drink. No.
Is he also someone you would talk to about having some advice for facing this challenge? Because he's been through this before. For you, it's the first time.
I think there are a lot of people which I could call for advice, but there are a lot of people working at this club that can give me very good advice as well.
No. I mean, you spoke just now about the messaging between you and the players, and also you spoke about how there was good moments mostly in the first half compared to the second half. If you think back to last season, there were so many occasions where you were able to change things at half-time and get an improved performance. So do you think there's any difference in how you're adapting and assessing what's happening in that half-time period, or do you feel like the players are still taking on that messaging in the same way?
I think we always remember the last 1 or 2 games the most. I think our second half performance against City was much better than our first half performance. If I go further back, so the first loss we had was against Crystal Palace. Our second half performance was much better than the first half performance. So it has been, all the losses we've had have had a different story. And the last 2, indeed, the second half wasn't as good as the first half, but in the last 2 we conceded straight after half-time. After already being disappointed in the first half, not getting what we thought we deserved. And And like I said, in my opinion, the players kept on fighting after 2-1 because we were able to create 2 or 3 very good moments and chances. The Cody Gakpo header is, I think, usually a goal. But this moment of time, not for us. We've generated enough set pieces in that part of the game as well. But after the 3-1, again, that's the part people tend to remember, which is normal because the last part of the game. That was, of course, not of the standards and of the fighting spirit we would like to have in our team.
Arne, when you lose 3 successive games, do you look at the team and think it maybe needs a jolt? Do you look at the players who have less minutes, the likes of Gomez and Enzo Chiesa, and think they might be able to run the team now? Or have you seen enough from players that this can change the ones who are playing?
I think you consider everything. Until now, I've decided differently. But they train with us every single day and they can prove themselves in those moments. And it's always a balance between if you don't change, people think, you should change more. And I think there was a period of this season where we lost and I made a few changes where people complained about the fact that I made a few changes too much. And there was never any time the same team. So, of course, I consider, but I cannot tell you what the end product of that consideration is for Sunday yet.
Thanks, Arne. Take care.
Thanks, Arne.
At least he's finally admitted it.
Yeah, I'll just.
I know.
Ibrahim a liability.
Liability, yeah. I'd have to put in here.
Do you think he meant to say a different word?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, no, yeah. Taking this one to say it.
Well, you could properly misquote. Yeah, but beware of this quote. It's not like saying.
Context is
Yeah.